Thank you. That's all I wanted.
The new.
We won't be copyrighted.
We will.
This
They'll
episode.
find something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll
We
find
sing every
something.
episode, basically.
It's true. Somebody will play.
I've been
TikTok.
roaming around, always looking down,
Now we're done.
and all I see.
All that work.
Hey,
for
pitch it
nothing.
up a little bit and go faster.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to What the Podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
Together, we are.
Ryan and John.
Love you, buddy.
Hey, love you too.
On the couch as always.
Oh, sweet. I'm glad we got that on video. Nice. Played at my funeral.
Cara Tafoya.
So,
All right. Annie the Scovemond.
Hey. Welcome back to our channel. Like and subscribe. Follow our
Please.
Patreon. Thanks to our sponsor.
we're already finishing the episode.
She's working this week.
She's working. I told you she's working this week.
Which one
You're
is
two.
my
You're
headphones?
two. You're two.
Thank you.
There you go.
Having a hard time hearing a little bit. Hi guys,
getting
welcome
older.
back. This is one of my favorite parts of the week. Just the four of us in a room talking about stuff and things.
Talking about things we don't know the answers to.
Well,
Oh.
we can,
Typically.
nothing we can't
We know
suss
they're
out.
loosely based on things, historical fiction.
By the end of 45 minutes, we're gonna
Something
have
happens.
a general understanding of
General
current
understanding is
events
perfect.
and
Yes.
popular culture.
Yes.
And
Do we still have that email?
What's that? Yes, if you
What
have.
the
It's
podcast
podcastwhatthe@gmail.com. You can drop
Guys, it's
in
the only one available.
suggestions, comments, concerns. That is podcastwhatthe@gmail.com.
wow.
Annie Scovemond, you have the floor.
Oh,
And
thank
you
you.
have the floor.
Thank you. In this day in news,
And now,
Ron DeSantis
for
drops
something
out of
totally
presidential
different.
race.
Yeah.
The world thinks he wears
for
lifts
him.
in his cowboy boots.
you know what I
Probably.
Isn't
heard
that crazy?
is there's a little bit of a technicality that goes on in that Ron DeSantis has actually suspended his run for presidency. There's a difference. He
Can I
hasn't
pick
dropped
that?
out.
Well,
Because, and here's why, he can continue receiving money to his campaign and like pay back all of his debts basically
Yeah.
in that like up until the end of the presidential race or whatever. So
For him.
so a lot of these candidates
I got some
will
debt.
suspend, not
Well,
end.
a lot of people.
Well,
think,
Annie would know. Annie's are
Go ahead, Annie.
relevant.
Yeah, a lot of people think he wears lifts in his shoes
Okay.
It's not very uncommon.
Tell me about that.
because
you keep saying that.
statistically,
a lot of actors do
over
that.
like besides Joe Biden and Obama, 90% of like presidential elections go to the tallest candidate.
That's insane.
No.
It's like one of those random stats that they think is just like a subliminal thing in like human nature that you think that
Wow.
a larger person is
Means
going to
more
be
power.
like stronger, more
That
powerful.
tracks majorly.
And so everyone thinks he wears lifts in his shoes, and his campaign team had been adamant that he does not.
That
They
makes
say,
me
no,
feel
he's just that tall.
so monkey brain. Like that they're like, yeah, we have the data. Like this is true about all of humanity. Is like
So just make him on his tippy toes.
you're saying short of the last two presidents, Donald Trump and President Biden, they weren't the tallest.
No, President Biden and
Is taller.
Obama were
Oh,
both shorter.
okay.
Obama
really?
was like an inch shorter than Romney.
But he still got it.
And he got it. And Biden's shorter than Trump.
Wow,
Yeah, so
I'm a huge candidate.
I think that he
Huge
did that.
candidate.
A lot of people are
and another
saying-
thing in the news.
Joe Biden's little. He's a tiny little man.
He's a little guy.
Oh,
He's about an inch shorter than me
I was wondering.
in more ways than one.
I'm gonna cut your Trump off.
Go ahead.
Huh,
Who are we
it
voting
was
for?
like he was here. I'm so glad. I actually have Republican. What's it called? What's voter
Proclivities?
registration here
Oh,
for
okay.
all of you guys to sign up.
Okay.
Okay.
Join my
Thank
side.
A lot
you.
of people are
Thank you.
saying
Come
they're
on.
going to vote for me.
A lot of people
Vote for
are saying.
me. Be
They
like
say,
me.
I ask them, who are you voting for? They say, President Donald Trump.
That's really good,
Amen.
man.
Thank you.
Amen.
I'm
Anyway,
not even lying. It's so good.
I was wondering why he had it. Usually, once you drop out of the race, you endorse the front runner.
Okay.
So, like Vivek dropped out and he endorsed Trump.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
a lot
did
of
he?
people are mad at Nikki Haley, who's the other
Becky.
Republican front runner,
Okay.
because
not
she
dropped
got
yet, right?
no, but she took money from the Democrats, and people are really
From the
upset about it.
Dems.
Which I
What
think
does
I
that
think
mean?
that should be kind of almost like a good sign, right? Like crossing the party lines.
Sure.
Everyone's like,
You would think so.
No. Not around here.
Not around
not
these
Trump's
parts,
America.
partner.
Not around here, partner.
Not
around here,
Trump's
partner.
America.
I just look. We say it every time we talk government politics. I just still think it's weird that like you can take so much money when you're like gonna be in office or like you're in office that they like people could just like give you money.
Okay,
and you're
you
like,
probably
I'm
saw
gonna do
this-
my job.
You probably saw this commercial last night during The Bachelor of the woman who is the OBGYN in Texas. Did you see that commercial?
Yeah.
And she's like, it's so serious. She talks about how she had to have an abortion because the fetus was like
Not gonna
viable.
come out
not
healthy.
viable,
Yep.
all this stuff. And it was like, but in Trump's America, blah, blah. And it ended up being
Trump's America.
a Biden paid
There's something
for.
so
I
funny
hate those.
And we were like,
commercials.
dang
about
it.
the
It was
phrase,
such like
"In
a nice
Trump's
commercial by
America."
itself.
It cracks me
Yeah.
up.
And then
I mean, maybe the message still stands, but I'm so cynical. I'm like, oh, she's an actor.
yeah.
Like, oh, they paid this girl to say all these things because all is fair in government and
in
Yeah.
war.
war.
An average political campaign to like run for office
Yeah, it's a
takes
lot
up
of
to
money,
$5
right?
million.
Oh my gosh.
$5 million.
It's like 5 to like 20.
That is insane.
I'm privately running.
Yeah, but a lot of these guys,
People
a lot
are
of
saying
a lot
are
of
really
people like
rich.
the last campaign I worked for, he put in $5 million of his
Oh
own
my
money.
gosh.
Like, and then he had to
It's
fundraise
kind of a
the
thing
rest.
rich people do, right?
It
Yeah,
doesn't.
you gotta have to have. Well, but then you look at
Ronnie DeSantis.
Let's hear it.
no,
just kidding.
Go
no,
ahead,
no.
let it
What's
rip.
her name?
She's
What's her name?
circling
AOC.
the drain.
Oh.
I was like Cortez, Alexandria,
Alexandria
Cortez,
Or-
whatever.
AOC.
AOC.
Acacia.
Yep.
Cortez.
You look at AOC, and she was like
Queen.
a waitress,
Love
and
her.
she did
Yeah.
full grassroots and got it.
Yep. Yep.
Go her.
She had a
Love
little
her.
like YouTube doc about that. Remember?
Yeah.
I feel like I watched something.
Yeah, and
where
it was
she's
like her
the
and
guy
her-
that was holding the position before her didn't even live in the district. Like lived on somewhere in like
That's pretty
Manhattan
common.
or something, and was just like representing the district. And the first time she lost, but she like gave the guy a run for his money. He was like freaked out. He came back into the
Yeah.
district and like did
Well,
a bunch
that's
of
what
old-
Like
usually
go to
happens.
bars
If
and stuff
you're-
and talk to people, right?
If you're brand new to the ticket, you
Awesome.
usually take one election year, like to just
Establish
get your
yourself.
name out there, and so the next year they're familiar with you. You usually go in knowing that you're going to lose the first year, but if you
What if
go
you win the
hard
first
enough,
year?
you'll know that you'll have a chance for the next year.
Then you have it. It's
crazy.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying like that's
Oh,
unheard of.
out of
That's wild.
nowhere.
Yeah,
That's
this is
wild.
crazy.
Donald Trump.
Oh, God.
Anyway,
Trump's America.
They made a great joke on SNL this weekend. It was like, well, we're in 2024, but are we though? And it just showed like election 2020, and it's like the same too.
Yep.
Like it's gonna come to the same
Yeah,
thing.
it is.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
Biden and
unfortunately,
Trump.
that.
Trump and Biden.
just
But going
not
off of
sound
what
fun.
Kara said,
Yeah.
The Bachelor.
The
Oh,
Bachelor.
sorry.
You
No,
missed
you-
it.
on purpose.
No.
did
You
on
hit the right
purpose.
buttons.
You
You
guys
hit the right
suck.
button.
You guys suck.
Classic me.
I saw. There's so many TikToks out there right now, but I saw one that was like, "Finally, Bachelor, you put a hot guy on, and we're gonna watch."
Yeah,
Finally,
yeah. It's like
We all had to go through the Golden Bachelor.
aren't they? Oh, you're talking about the Golden Bachelor.
Oh,
I was gonna
what?
say, aren't
Kara,
they
people
all
love that.
I loved it
conventionally
too.
attractive?
I had a woman that was
But
cutting my hair, and the ad came on the TV, and she goes, "If I didn't have such a big mouth, I'd be on that show." And I was like, I had no. It's just a random woman that was just cutting my hair at the time. And I was
Golden
like,
Bachelor?
Yes, it was Golden Bachelor ad. And she was kind of. I guess she was probably
Older.
older. Yeah, I
Like
could call her
60s?
golden.
Was she golden?
Well, I don't. I mean, yeah, I'd say maybe.
The
but it's hard to
youngest
tell.
on that show was like 65.
But she was like, yeah, I'd be on there if I didn't have such a big mouth. And I
No,
was like,
that's a
she
good
meant,
thing.
how do you like?
They want
I was like,
that.
how do you respond? Well, how do I respond? Because I don't
yeah,
even know
you
this
would,
woman.
Queen. You're getting the haircut.
she
Yeah,
like
you would,
pointing
Queen.
I said yes. Okay.
Good for you.
Maybe she had like an ugly mouth and it was too big, and they were like,
Okay.
"No."
That's kind
pass.
of what I thought. She meant like the size of her mouth, but
Well,
Ryan always has a
Crazy.
theory about who has been like paid plants
oh,
on
The
that show.
Bachelor?
How
All
about
of
you
them?
share your theory about like the first impressions when they come out? Who you think are plants?
oh, they got me. I don't care for this show, right?
Okay.
I've made it very clear
Thank you.
on
Me
this
too.
podcast. I don't care for The Bachelor, but we talk about it every time, so here it is.
We talk about it a lot. Yeah.
Is that the first night they bring on like 30 girls, right?
32 this year. Thank you.
Thank you. And they all have like a little bit. This girl is like, I'm a biochemist. Let's do some chemistry. And she brings out a tray with like a beaker and he pours it in and she's like, looks like we have good chemistry. I'm like, yeah, she's going on. Like,
Oh,
they
you
write.
think there's people that
they
just get
obviously
axed right away.
I think more likely than not is they get like 10 hot girls, and they're like, these girls they're gonna go the distance at least for 3 or 4 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Then let's bring in 20 more actors or women that like they are delusional
serious.
enough to be like, I'm on The Bachelor. And it's
They're
like,
the fillers.
We know for a fact you're a filler. You're going home.
Yeah.
You're going home.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think the manipulation is just so obvious when you watch this show.
I don't watch, but one of my favorite seasons was when it was a storyline that I heard about where one of them slept with a crew member.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was so
Yes.
funny. They had called the Bachelor in. He's
Yep.
like,
Yep.
they're like, listen, we hate to, and it's like, it's a perfect like reality.
Yes, I
TV.
remember this.
You can barely hear the producer. He's like kind of talking to the guy, and then all of a sudden, it goes to talking to the guy, and the guy's like, so yeah, apparently Tiffany had some relations with a crew
Wasn't
member.
it Colton's season?
A boom mic operator.
I think it might have. Yeah, it might have been
Colton's season was-
Colton's season was wild.
She's like, I've been sitting in this green room for 6.5 hours. Do you want to bang random
Jeff.
crew member? He's
Hey,
like,
Jeff.
yes, yes.
He's like, yes.
hey, Jeff, listen.
It's funny because that's more natural than the love that gets created on
Totally.
the show. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Circumstantial.
you like meeting somebody somewhere
Uh-huh.
and then
Uh-huh.
being attracted to them, and that's like such a scandal on this show.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And it's like, you watch it, and I know that they've filmed the entire season, and then there's an editor going in to tell, the story, right?
Yeah.
You're an editor.
right.
You know how they work.
You are too.
Well, we're
Except
editors.
I think they film it and then edit it, and then film the next
No.
episode and then edit
No
it.
chance. I think they get the whole narrative and then they sit down like in a writer's room and go, okay, like let's pepper in a little bit
No.
of Cara in this episode.
No, I'm pretty
let's
sure
plant the seed.
they edit on
They have
as
it.
they
They
go.
have like a lot of the shots are like not hitting cameras,
No
but
way.
it's like planted cameras that they have around to get all the different angles.
I think
and they
that-
cut together their reactions. And there's some things like you could tell night one.
You couldn't.
This girl Jess went in and stole a man.
Yes.
And you could totally tell that I was prompted. That a producer said, "Hey, go and
steal that man.
Go grab
like
his
we know for a
attention."
fact she's going home, so go steal her moment.
Yeah,
Go steal her
and
moment.
that like
Except
you could
she
tell
got
that
to
was
stay, too.
created, but I don't think it was like pre-planned.
I feel like there's a man in the chair.
Yeah,
and
there
he's
is.
going
Well-
and he's going, okay, and now let's tell the story.
Listen, I was on a reality TV show. Remember, guys?
Go ahead.
I was on
Here we go.
Married at First Sight, San Diego
Okay.
edition.
Were you in the audience or
I was as they came to the bridal shop I worked at, and I sold them the dresses.
Okay, that's right. I
And
remember this.
what I was shocked about is like you see the like stitched together version, and it's like them all talking about the dress, and then like the mom being like, "What are you nervous about? Aren't you kind of scared?" And what
got
what they
nervous
cut out
on
is
it,
the
doing that.
producer on the like other side of the room going, "Hey mom, ask her about how she's feeling." And
How are
then the
you
mom
feeling,
goes, "How are you
sweetie?"
feeling, honey? Like, aren't you
She goes,
scared?"
I'm fine.
And she's like, "No, not really." And they're just reaction. And I fully think that's what happens. I think
Yeah.
that at the end of the night, they pull him into a room and they're like, "Hey, like, who are you feeling? Who's not?" I think they have all their pictures taped up on a
And they go,
wall.
we like these three
And he's
people.
and,
so
and
you
then
have to
they
keep them."
have someone being like, "Remember, this was the girl doing this," and him going, "Yeah, nah,"
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they have a little earpiece going like, "Serena," and he's like,
And he's
"Serena."
like, Serena, will
Calls
you
her
accept
down.
this rose?
And just
Totally.
like no clue what
I
her name is.
fully agree with that.
The little earpiece or like Taylor.
He's like, they're like, don't even learn any of the other names. These are the
Yeah.
names you need to learn.
It's so
He's
crazy.
like, okay.
The clip of it was years ago when he calls the wrong name, and she comes
Oh.
up and he goes, "Oh no, I didn't mean you."
Not
she
you,
has to turn
Stephanie.
around.
I meant that Stephanie.
So good.
But what's so crazy is that like when we were watching it last night, I was saying how they literally start this night filming at like 10 p.m.
And it goes into the morning.
and Tyler was like, "What? What?" And then I was like, "Yeah, just wait. By the end of the rose ceremony, it's daylight." And they're
Yeah.
literally living in the daytime. And then there it is at the end of the rose ceremony. It's fully morning,
Sometimes I think
and they're all drinking.
that like we've progressed as a society. Like
then you see
we're
that show.
beyond gender norms. We're beyond like, and then I see stuff like that, and I'm like, no, we're
Hey,
not.
they got two sisters.
Like that is crazy. But like even so we were talking about the Oscars, right? So the Oscar nominations just came out. I'm like, big one everyone's been talking about,
nom.
Barbie, right?
Yes.
We talked about it at the Golden Globes. Now the Oscars are here. Nominated for Best Actor, Ken from that movie, Ryan Gosling.
I'm just kidding.
he did good, right? No nomination for Greta Gerwig, the director, woman director. No nomination for Margot Robbie, best actress, nothing. I guess America Ferrera got nominated for best supporting actress, but that's it. And
It's the
like
is the Oscars.
this is the Oscars.
Isn't that like voted on by their peers?
No, it's the Academy.
Oh, okay. I thought they like all voted.
No, it's like
you're a part. Like I thought you could pay. Like if you are in the industry and you're high enough, you could pay to be a part of the Academy.
I think
and
you
vote,
can. Yes,
right?
correct. Yes, but it's not like I don't think it's your peers. I don't think it's like actresses voting for other actresses or something.
No. It's a team.
Because they certainly have a type, and like
It's the Academy.
you know, Oppenheimer swept. Oppenheimer, you know, Matt Damon got nominated. I almost said elected. Robert Downey Jr. got nominated. Cillian Murphy got
first
nominated.
time, yep.
The director Chris Nolan got nominated. And it's like, okay, great. Like biopic, history movie, men, bombs, like cool, right?
History movie. I'm looking at how it works really quick. I want
Yeah,
to see.
give it to me.
You can become a part of the club. To become a part of the approximately 8,000 voting members of the Academy, you'd better be in the business. Aside from requiring each member has to have achieved distinction in a motion picture, art, or sciences in their respective field. Candidates must go and meet the qualitative standards. Sorry, that was a hard word.
That's okay.
Writers, producers, directors must also have at least 2 screen credits to match their name, while actors just have to have a scripted role and at least 3 films.
So could you? Oh, that's interesting.
I'm
Could you
pretty
be in the
sure-
Academy and be nominated?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Will Smith was like in the Academy. That was the whole thing. Is like they voted him out, and he was like, "But I'm literally in the Academy. Like I vote, but he can't come for 10
I don't
years or
know
something
if
after the big."
Is it like where the president votes for
is
himself?
being in the Academy the same thing as like. So I have a teacher
Okay.
who,
Oh, this
for
is
most
interesting.
Oscar seasons, he gets sent all the movies to watch. Is
Yes.
that being part of the
So
Academy?
he's probably in the Academy.
Yeah.
So kind of crazy. Once inducted to the Academy, an individual can only belong to one branch. So, for example, Ben Affleck can be an Academy member as an actor and not as a director, even though he's directed film.
But he can
has
still
to
get
choose
nominated.
like where
Oh.
he's going to go in, and then that's what he can vote on. To
Films or actors or
Yes.
like you could be a best costume person.
Yes.
See, because
Got
that's
it. Okay.
and then I feel that there's a board though, right? Like they take the votes and then they kind of make the decision.
Determine that there's 25 categories, and members are allocated to each respective nominees and based off their field. And then directors can only vote for best directors. Editors can only vote for best editing nominations. Yada yada yada. And then all the voting members are eligible to vote for potential best pictures. So everyone votes on best picture.
Okay.
But when you come into the Academy, if you say like I'm coming in as an actor, you can only vote. You can only vote on nominating acting categories.
So I guess it is peers. So
It is peers. That's what I'm saying. I thought I heard that.
so maybe I don't know then. Maybe look, I'll say the TikTok reaction has been, oh, well, it's because women, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, not to, like what's the word? Like reduce it to that.
Yeah.
I think it's more complex than that, but I think that there's something to it. Thoughts? Room?
Oh, so this is interesting. Sorry, I'm reading about it.
Yeah,
So,
that's fine.
So the categories select the nominations, but then the entire Academy votes on the winners.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
So like your actors vote on the 10 or whatever the acting nomination fields are, and then the whole Academy votes for one person in each category.
That's right. Okay, so
It happens
the
over
thing
a
your
3-day
teacher
process.
gets, they're called a for your consideration campaign.
Yes.
And so your teacher gets, all these movies that are running for
Yeah.
nomination and then decides these should be nominated.
Yes.
And then the Academy picks the winner.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it's saying. Yeah, what you just said there, and then the whole process of voting on final, like who wins, it takes 3 days. Like in just 3 days, they vote for all the Academy winners.
So it's
like
just
the
a bunch
category winners.
dudes, right?
Well,
I mean,
yeah, I mean,
and they're picking them every year and
I'd be interested to see what I don't know if it's publicly listed, like the 8,000 list. I know it's a lot of names, but I wonder what the ratio is in terms of like women to men and even like people who are white and people of
I
color.
bet they
'cause
try
think
and
that's
make it
interesting,
even
too.
Totally.
between women and men. I don't know about race, but
right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So Ryan Gosling came
Okay.
out with a statement
Okay.
about it.
In the wake of this,
Yes. He said, I am
nominations?
extremely honored to be nominated by my colleagues alongside such remarkable artists in a year of so many great films. And I never thought I'd be saying this, but I'm also incredibly honored and proud that it is for portraying a plastic doll named Ken. But there is no Ken without Barbie, and there's no Barbie movie without Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie, the two people most responsible for this history-making, globally celebrated film. No recognition will be possible for anyone on the film without their talent, grit, and genius. To say that I'm disappointed that they are not nominated in their respective categories would be an understatement. Against all odds, with nothing but a couple of soulless, scantily clad, and thankfully crotchless dolls, they made us laugh, they broke our hearts, they pushed the culture, and they made history. Their work should be recognized along with the other very deserving nominees. Having said that, I'm so happy for America Ferrera and the other incredible artists who contributed their talents to making this such a groundbreaking film.
yeah, that's easy buckets for him. Like,
Yeah, he's
for
like-
sure.
yeah.
He's like, yeah, they're my homies.
But yet he did
What's
not say,
so
I'm
funny-
not,
He's
I
like,
rescind my nomination.
uh-huh.
I don't want to be a part of it.
Seeing
You know?
all of his reactions to like the Golden Globe win and the Critics' Choice win, he's fully like
Confused.
His reactions are fully like, what the?
Yeah, okay. I did see that at the Golden Globes
So
because
confused.
the same situation now is for Best Song for Motion Picture.
Yeah.
I'm Just Ken gets nominated.
Yep.
And What Was I Made For? The
Yep.
Billie Eilish song from
So good.
from Annie's lip sync. You know
I'm
the
sorry.
one.
The
You know
best.
the one?
I'm just Ken. I don't think was a great song, but Billie Eilish's song was the best song in the whole film.
Arguably the song of the summer, like
Yeah.
in terms of movies. So, but then I'm Just Ken wins at
Yeah.
the Golden Globes.
He's shocked. He's supposed to go up.
He literally, he's like,
because they said like accepting this award on behalf of, and it said his name, but he never went up to
right.
accept.
I think Mark Ronson produced it, so like he went up and got
Wait,
it
I think.
Well, no,
Billie
they said all
Eilish-
three of them. They said Mark, and
because he sang on it.
no, they said accepting this award for this person, and they were all three supposed to go up. There's three of them, and Ryan never went up.
Mark Ronson.
I think
probably.
Billie Eilish won the Golden Globe.
Mark
I think
accepted.
No.
he won the Critics' Choice. Because
I'm-
she did go up and
I'm not sure.
and say
I don't think so.
She did accept. 'cause
I'll
she
tell
had
you
her
what, the
outfit.
numbers on the, if you're wondering, the percentage of
I was.
females in the
Oh,
Academy.
Low.
Well, this consensus was taken.
I'm gonna say
in
34%.
in 2019, so it's a little old. Obviously, it's 4 years old, but we're gonna go off of this in 2019. I can't imagine it's gotten
Better.
any better. But do you want to guess? You said
34. That's high.
You're
but-
saying the percentage of the
Of
Academy that
women-
is women?
Out of 8,000 people, the percentage of women.
I'm going to say it's pretty low. I'm going to say it's like 15, 20%.
You have to say one.
15%.
Thank you.
Annie, you want to guess?
25.
Okay, so I'll back up a little bit. In 2015, it was 25%.
Damn it.
But in
Oh.
2019, it's grown to 32%.
Dang it, I was over.
So
Dang.
we had the whole Me Too movement and it only went up 5%. That sucks.
People of color, you wonder.
Uh
In 2015, it was 8%.
oh. Is it
That's
12 now?
atrocious.
In 2019, it's 16, and it's been 16% in 2018 and in 2019.
Oh boy.
It did not increase at all.
That is so
That's
bad.
ridiculous.
That's all people of color or like who does
yes,
that?
yeah, people of color. The overall percentage of people of color in,
Wow.
in the Academy membership.
That's what's wrong with Hollywood. Forget the nitpicking of the men and women. Y'all are racist.
I'm starting to think Hollywood
Wait a minute.
is racist.
Today.
Wait a
That's my
minute.
thought today.
I'm starting to believe
now.
that there might be a little racism in there.
So good.
God, I love you, Annie.
saying.
That's so
funny.
good. No, you're right. I'm with you on that 100%.
You know what? Maybe Russia has the right idea. They can have Alaska. They can have the Academy. I have plenty of parts of America that they can just take.
Such a good transition. Tell me about this Alaska situation,
Yeah.
Annie.
I'll be real. I watched that one TikTok about
Okay.
that article. Did no other research, but I'm taking it as truth.
And that's our show.
Historical fiction. I saw
got
this
it.
TikTok about an
John's on
article. I saw a TikTok about an article.
I saw a video
on
about a guy
The
talking
Onion.
about an Onion article. No.
Not the onion.
No, but it was about Russia had made a public statement.
Okay.
Putin had made a statement saying that they want Alaska back.
It wasn't really an Onion article, was it?
No.
Okay.
I didn't even know that Alaska was part of Russia.
bought it from
America's response is certainly he's not getting it back. the state said that.
Alaska Alaska was bought as a territory
Yeah.
in 1864.
Oh my gosh.
From Russia.
Our 49th state. Thank you.
It was created a state in 1959. Like, we're not giving it back.
No.
The State Department's principal deputy says, "Well, I think I can speak for all the U.S. government to say that he's certainly not getting it back." in a Monday press briefing.
He's certainly. I
That's
can
so
almost say
crazy.
for certain he won't be
But
receiving
there's
it.
like Putin releases the statement basically like we're gonna take back Alaska, and there's like
Oh,
the
we're going to
like
war.
yeah the like
Right on.
What is Putin
Russian-
doing over there, bro? Like,
Bro's doing
Bro,
meth
this
he's
for
trying.
sure.
It's almost like he's trying to garnish his wages. Like,
Have you ever
like
played
he's
Risk?
going after Ukraine,
Uh-huh.
and then now Russia. He's like, oh wait, I gotta give me
Come on.
a little more liquid here,
Dude,
have you ever played Risk? It's literally Risk.
It's crazy.
When one section of your country, your troops are low, you go, I'm a stockpile the other
John,
side, go from the other
you
direction.
ever play Monopoly? You know, you buy Park Place a little too early. You
And
got
you're like-
Boardwalk.
You're like, who
And
wants
then
it?
late game, you got to sell it. It's
Yeah.
not
He
making the money you
freaking-
think it is.
He freaking saw that stupid ass ISS movie and went, I'm going to
Oh,
war with the US.
Love that movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but
International Space Station, Annie. What do you think's going to happen? There's Russians up there, there's Americans up there, and we go to war with Russia.
What do you think this movie's
They
whole
kill
basis
each
is?
other. Spoilers
Oh,
for ISS.
Yeah,
both-
both
They
what
kill
the
each other.
They both get orders
to kill
from both sides, take over ISS at any means. So then the
Any
whole
means
movie, you're like,
necessary.
okay.
So
When are they
the
gonna kill each
trailer,
other?
if
It's-
you've seen the trailer, you've seen the movie. That's all
it's
I can say.
crazy that Putin's out there like trying to pull out like some old stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah,
like,
Ukraine. He's like, by the way, that is ours.
you know what I'm saying? This is twice in the last 2 years that he's trying to like
Oh, we
take
want
back
Alaska.
things that he thinks are his, which is
This-
crazy.
Yeah.
This Alaska.
Well, my favorite
That
thing
is
about
ours.
Putin, I'm glad you asked. The thing I love about Vladimir Putin
His hairline.
is
Vlad.
no,
I call him
not
Vlad.
him riding horseless on horseless,
Oh.
Shirtless on a horse.
horses.
Horseless on
Sure.
She's speechless.
Dyslexia. How many dyslexics are in that 800,000
800,000
academy?
Jeez.
Oh, 8,000?
That was the joke. Is it's like I'm dyslexic.
They don't have a
I'm
stat for that,
zero.
unfortunately.
Anyway,
Was that the joke?
yeah, that was supposed to be the joke.
It was
but
really
jeez.
funny. Everyone laugh.
Anyway, my favorite thing about Vladimir Putin, thanks for asking. I love that he just changed the government. Like, he
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I'm not supposed to be in office this long. We're changing it. I can be here forever.
It's like that moment in Hamilton when he's like, he talks about how, which is history, obviously, about how when Thomas Jefferson became president, it was like, oh, now your VP is the runner-up, and he's like, well, I'm the president now,
So I can change that.
I can change that.
I'm
They're
not
like,
gonna have that anymore.
Last time.
Damn.
It's exactly.
Damn, you're right. You are the president.
Talk about historical fiction.
I mean, look, I'm not going to make big assumptions about Russia,
Okay,
right?
go ahead. And
They
insert
had
big
they had
big assumption.
Stalin frozen
Vodka.
on display. Like you could go and see
Wait, for
his
real?
body. Yes, and Lenin too.
Like, you wouldn't want to do that.
Of course, I would want to, but
Yeah,
like
you fool.
they
I
had the
would How
long was
they
it?
had the
Lenin?
balls to
Solid.
do it.
John Lennon
No.
on ice
God damn
for
it,
me to
Cara.
see in Russia?
Imagine this. No heaven. He sings too.
Imagine there's no Alaska.
How long?
Not that-
I'll find out.
Believe it or not,
happening.
different Lenin. Different Lenin.
I'm being funny, Annie.
What is happening? Imagine. Hello, Russia. It's
Okay, but
me,
who's Lennon?
John Lennon. He was a communist. He wrote the communist. No, that was Marx. He was a communist.
He was like
Okay.
a communist. Yeah,
All right.
that's all you really know. He's dead now.
Okay.
But
the
then they stuffed him and they put him on display, and you could go and see him in Lenin's tomb.
Wait, stuffed?
And then when Joseph Stalin, I think they
Like
froze
Paddington.
him.
Lenin's tomb, yeah.
And then when Joseph Stalin died, they put him in Lenin's tomb. They're
Joseph
like,
R. Stalin.
and now featuring Stalin.
They weren't Stalin.
So they were
It's called a display. It's called a,
It's called a shrine. Look it up.
no shrine. You don't have the guy at the shrine.
okay,
to do.
did they stuff him or did they
John.
they inject him with
trying
like
to
how
find out
like
right
mummies
You
get
talking about
injected
Oh,
with
embalming?
like
you're talking
Yeah,
about embalming
embalming.
fluid?
That photo
No,
is
he probably
staggering.
There he is.
Let's
Oh.
see it.
Yes.
Let's see it.
I was under the impression that he was
Stalin.
standing up like this.
No, they're not psychopaths.
Come on, that crazy.
They are, Annie.
1961.
They are vampires.
I'm like
The best
90%
is
sure.
that we bought Alaska way before modern day Russia came into power. Like
He was on display for 8 years.
Bro, I fully would have gone and seen
Okay.
Stalin's dead body.
Years.
Okay, he was laying down. For some reason, I thought he was standing up.
That
Probably
was-
because you
it's-
saw a picture of it where it was
Stalin's.
like from above.
he was put on
and it looked
display
like
in
it.
Vladimir Lenin's, mausoleum. It looks
Another
like, or
Vladimir?
tomb. Hundreds of people
Yeah,
came
Vladdy's
to see
a big name
Comment-
over there.
in the mausoleum, and then in 1961,
Vladdy.
just 8 years later, the Soviet government ordered Stalin's remains to be removed from the tomb.
They were like, crazy bit. Let's stop.
They're like, okay, there's probably a change of government. I
Wouldn't it be
imagine.
crazy?
Yeah, how long is too long to have a dead body out for everyone to come look at?
Wouldn't it be
A
crazy?
year.
I
It
feel
is
like 8
crazy.
years is a weird number.
One
I
year.
feel
It's
like go
crazy.
for 10.
I kind of, well, I don't know about money.
How
but, like,
long do
for
you
the
wanna
standard
be?
person? Because
Okay.
I work a lot of memorials at church.
You see a lot of
So
dead
I
bodies.
know like the standard. They say that you can keep a body on ice like in a morgue for a month, and you can do a viewing for up to 2 months after the person died.
Well, there's some cultures that like you keep that
Well,
thing.
I wanna
I
say-
worked a Samoan funeral, and it
I
was,
was
a
gonna
month
say,
later.
I thought it was-
and they
yeah.
brought her in,
Ew.
and there was a viewing. And
It's
you
a
see
thing.
it?
Okay, but when do people get sick of looking at you?
Guess what? 6 hours memorial. 6 hours.
Yeah.
so you
Nonstop.
looked at her for 6 hours.
No, I didn't
wasn't
work
there.
it,
He
but
wasn't there.
it was
How-
6 hours long, like worship.
It's like
and,
a thing in
like,
Filipino
Hey,
Yeah.
families.
if you guys,
like,
if you
It was
go
cool.
back to the beginning, go get that email. Email us if you work in the morgue industry. How do you keep the body down from the rigor mortis?
Rigor
it
mortis
doesn't
goes
last that
away.
long.
You weigh it down.
No, it goes. It's just twitching.
you
It's
just put them in the
No,
drawer.
what's the thing when it's like gets all stiff?
Yeah,
Stiff, it's called stiffy body.
it
No, it's
stops.
Rigor mortis is right.
It stops.
Thank you. I watch a lot of SVU. I
It
know what
occurs
rigor
between
mortis
1
is.
in 6 hours, average 2 to 4 following death, and then it can last several days after.
I'm sorry. If
I know.
I
Hit us,
had
Cara.
a viewing
Yep.
Okay.
When
of my own body.
when you have a viewing,
When you're having an out of body experience at your own funeral.
Yeah, I
You ever
think
think about-
after probably like maybe 2 months, people would get sick of coming and visiting.
it was weird. I went to a
Oh,
morgue.
not me, Cara. I'll visit your dead body for
It's-
years.
I went to a morgue one
in
time,
a grave, maybe.
and the Undertaker was like, "I've got a stiffy." I was like, "Oh, rigor mortis." He's like, "What are you talking about?" Go ahead, John.
Come on, hit it. No, that was even the
I
craziest
hate
part
that.
of the memorial service because I thought it was kind of cool. Like
For
like,
dead body,
it
yeah.
was 6 hours long, and I was like, that's cool. They wanted a video of the 6 hour service.
Oh.
That's the craziest thing about that.
Wow.
It was no joke, like 50 gigabytes of data. It was crazy.
So impressive.
It was crazy.
Nobody's gonna watch that, right?
Well, that's kind of the thing I've learned about memorials. Is like, who watches
gonna
the
go back?
recordings? You know,
Yeah.
Probably grieving people.
you'd be surprised. So they want to record it. I record them and I set them for pickup. And there's a lot of people that never come to pick it up because
Yeah.
they just don't think about it and they don't really want it.
Want it?
Well, it's
But
mostly
they think they do in the
so,
beginning.
but they watched it at the service, right?
They were there. Yeah,
So
a lot
that's
of
the
them were
closure,
there.
right? It's
No,
like
it's
you
like-
watched it, and now it's.
Well,
like
that's what I'm
It's
saying.
like
It's
the
like, why
video
would you
of the whole
want?
service.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. It's
why
not like
would
a
you-
slideshow.
Yeah.
No.
Why would you want?
Well, if you
to watch
wanted
it
the
again.
speech, if you're like, I
Posterity.
want to remember what so and so
Or
said,
for someone who can make it, maybe.
Couldn't
It's
make
very
it.
rare.
That makes sense.
It's very rare.
But if I
Anyway.
could make a memorial service and they're like, oh, we'll send you a video of it. I'm thinking like maybe a quick like 10-minute summary.
I'm like, was there a
No.
song and
You know
dance in the
what's-
middle of it?
Speaking of memorial services, I have I have a memorial service to go to on February 3rd,
Okay.
and my parents are also invited to this
Casual.
memorial service. My friend
Give us
calls
all
me.
your details
Is it
of your life.
Is it your dad's friend?
It's
Well,
just
no, it's my friend's dad.
Oh, that's
Crazy
what it was.
enough.
That's what it was. Got it.
And my parents
Shout
are going,
out.
and my friend calls me and she's like, hey, like, I know you have another memorial to go to that day. I said, no, I know what you're talking about. She goes, well, your parents do. I call my parents. I go, you're going to another memorial that day? They go, yeah, that weekend's booked for us. We got a
Whoa.
memorial Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We got two on
par for
Saturday.
the course at their
And
age.
I was like,
Oh
I was
my
like, what? They're
God.
like, yeah. They got all these memorials to go to. And they're like, yeah, we're going to a memorial this day and this day. And then we got to leave
Jeez.
this memorial early to go to this
Dang.
memorial. I was like,
Dang.
No cooking for
okay.
them that weekend.
You know, that's
Wow.
just saying.
a lot of turkey roll-ups.
Lot of turkey
a
roll
lot
Lot
of turkey
of
roll
freaking-
or taco
a lot
guys.
of funeral food.
What
you know
what
what?
was it called?
The memorial I'm going
Pinwheels.
to
Pinwheel.
Memorial I'm going to barbecue food. I'm so excited
Oh,
because he
Dang.
made the best
Have
barbecue.
tacos
you.
at mine, okay? Make sure that there's
I know.
tacos at
I
mine.
know we're going to Thai food, but can we just go to Dell's tonight? You guys think we could just go get
No.
barbecue?
Yeah, Dell's is baller. Dell's.
Oh my God, their brisket.
Doesn't matter.
So good. So good.
It doesn't matter. It
So
doesn't
good.
matter. Whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Wow. I honestly would
So
sell my
like, you
soul
know how
for barbecue food.
there's like we're kind of in the era where we're going to a lot of weddings. Like a lot of our friends are getting.
So we're gonna get to
married.
the era where we go to a lot of funerals. Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think your parents are kind of in it.
Oh,
unfortunately,
1,000%.
It sounds like.
Well, and now they're going to like that weird in between where like a lot of their like friends' parents are dying.
I was gonna say
Their friends' parents are like 80s, 90s.
if you get past that era, you live in an era where all your friends are dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my grandpa's in that era.
My great grandfather was like that. He lived to 95.
Yeah.
That's
or
my
something like that.
grandma.
It was like no
Bunch of
friends
my,
were left.
it's all my grandma's friends. That's why she moved away from San Diego.
My
She had no
grandma,
one
we'd
else
look
here.
at like family photo albums. She'd be like, "Oh, he
Dead.
dead.
He
Oh,
dead.
she's dead. Oh, her whole
That's what
family
we did
dead.
watching Tanya Noah's
dead.
wedding video. They'd be like, oh,
Oh,
dead.
he's dead.
Dad,
He
dad,
overdose.
Dad, dad.
Like
Oh, interesting.
he's gay now.
Oh, yeah.
Gay-
You literally love a storyline.
I
Overdose,
love
you're
a storyline.
Ooh, overdose. Tell me
love-
more.
And then they
Tell me more.
die.
You know what's crazy?
She
Speaking
loves
of
it.
death and like
Sorry, that's the Annie button. Go ahead. Speaking of
death.
death.
That's what we need.
Who was like their guest was Prince Charles last year? Was that you?
No, I think
The
that
King
was
Charles?
Oh, maybe I did make that
You
guess.
did.
Yeah,
You
think
did choose.
that was
King.
my-
He literally was in the hospital. I heard it and I was like,
should have doubled down.
he and
can't double down.
Princess
It's against
Kate
the
both
rules.
went into the hospital for like
Well,
these surgeries.
she had a stomach surgery that was planned. He had an enlarged rectum or something like
Yeah.
that.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
rectum.
Right? I'm right about
Rectum.
They
that.
call him Big Rectum Charles.
No. He
Big
wrecked-
Rectum Chuck.
It wrecked him.
King Charles starts to slow down a bit ahead of his prostate treatment.
Prostate.
prostate.
Not
funny.
rectum,
That's not funny.
prostate.
That's not funny.
Isn't it all connected?
That's not funny.
Well, yeah.
The prostate's in the rectum, isn't it?
Well, it's part
This
of it.
is your anatomy.
Guys.
You guys
Yeah.
gotta tell us about this.
You guys have rectums?
Yeah, but we don't have prostates.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Dang, that's right.
Helps you pee.
The prostate helps you
Queen
pee?
Consort
Yeah, I
Camilla
don't really
says
know
that
what
the
it
king
does.
is doing fine as she visits him in Swindle.
It's like
Well,
a-
they're not gonna say he's dead. They're just gonna wheel out his body out front for 8 years, just like they did
Put
with
it on
Stone.
ice.
They're not gonna ice Charles. They don't do that there.
No.
Ice Charles.
Let's-
Charles
do
Ice
a
and
parade.
everybody
Let's
else.
Mummified
ice King
Charles.
Charles. Let's bring him a present
Oh.
and have an ice in there
A
and make him drink
Kara,
it.
A Smirnoff Ice would kill Prince Charles. He would drop dead
First
on
of
the
all,
spot.
yeah, all the shit that's in there that is definitely illegal
Yeah.
in England. They're like, oh, red dye and yellow dye
What?
number
It's a
40.
bottle of Red 40.
Red 40.
I'm fucking dead now.
The king can't have Red 40.
I'm absolutely mullered.
Yours is good. I mean, Ryan is always good.
Oh.
I've always liked Ryan.
better.
But
you.
yours is getting good.
Thank you.
I'm
I was
absolutely
doing-
gutted.
You have to do
Red-
more of a
When he said Red
royal
40,
one.
it was good.
No,
Red
you
40.
know.
You
when
can't do
he's
Cockney.
okay, he does those speeches kind of royally. You know, when he's out in the street, he's like, right, so basically, right, I'm King Charles now. He's got his little Cockney, like, street accent. You know he does.
No.
You know he's got that. Right, I'm
It's
fucking
again.
gutted right now. I got a bottle of Red 40. And then he's like, yes, I'm King Charles.
Wait,
Uh,
trademark,
this is so
trademark.
sad.
That is a
Addressing the
great.
nation.
That is a great idea for like a whiskey or something to make in
Bottle of
like,
Red 40.
Red, call it Red 40,
40.
and have it be like a red label, and it will be like, oh, it's this new whiskey from America, and it's like Fireball. It just gets people effed up.
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
like, oh man, I had.
You know
a
what they call
wild
it over
night.
there? They call it bottle of Red 40.
You know, it's kind of sad.
Bottle of,
You're off the team.
bottle of
I was reading this interview with King Charles, and he said that he sees himself as the caretaker king because he's just keeping the throne warm for the new Prince of Wales.
Oh.
Like
Which
he
is
took,
who?
he took care of his mom,
Which is who?
his whole life until his mom died, and he's like, he literally says like, I don't think I'm gonna live long enough to be in the throne very long. I'm just keeping this warm until
Who's the Prince of
William.
William.
Will?
Prince William.
Is that the
And
sex
Kate.
offender or?
No. That's Andrew. That's Charles's brother.
Guess
so-
Charles.
May he
Bro, I'm
rest
so
in
lost.
unrest.
They're like British Kardashians, right? Like I don't know.
We kind
how
of need
many
like
there
a
are.
exactly,
graph.
they
We
are.
kind of need like a graphic of like how it all. I guess we could take the queen out now because
The royal family tree. Like, can we
Yeah.
have one on the wall?
Pretty-
And then
the
no.
queen
the
was an only
Kardashians
child,
next to
wasn't
it.
she? Or no?
No, she had a sister.
She had a sister.
Margaret. And Margaret.
She's still alive.
No, she
No,
died.
She died. I think in the 80s or something.
Prince
on the
Andrew was
bottom
hot
credit.
and then not.
They were all hot and not.
Well, Kate's still hot.
I'll tell you what.
You call them Andrew
after
and
that
William.
Oh, well,
Andrew's never
I met
hot. He's
William.
a
Harry's
pedophile.
book. I can't look at him the same way. He's
Talking
rough.
about his penis.
The way he like told that
Yeah.
story is just not okay.
That was crazy.
But again, it's like he grew up.
Anyway.
He grew up so sheltered. Like
He grew up weird.
he
He's
grew
a
up
weird kid.
He's a homeschool
He's a weird.
kid.
And I would never make fun of homeschool
I
kids
would
because
Me
that would be
neither.
so
Literally
rude.
never.
They've
But
had
like
it really hard.
sometimes it just happens that they end up kind of weird and like.
Oh,
but sometimes they have cool
God.
talents,
Good
right?
thing we
Like
don't-
they
good
had
thing we
plenty
don't
of
know
time
any.
to like have like develop like
Good
almost
thing we
perfect
don't know
pitch.
any of them.
Like
Don't think we don't know any of them. Good
Just a
thing
little
no one we know
fact
is
fighting.
homeschooled.
Princess Margaret died in 2002.
Oh.
A
yeah, it's
long,
basically
long
the
time ago.
80s.
Long time ago. She gone.
She gone. She gone. You know what else is gone?
Yeah.
Thank God. And this is
I
for
can't.
the
Wait,
best.
I can't wait to see what you
This
say.
is for the best. Furries in schools.
Oh,
I thought we don't kink shame.
No. I have a clip of Cara literally going, hopefully they don't have any weird kinks.
That was recently, huh?
Yeah.
one of my favorite endings.
we do
is
kink
So,
shame.
so
how do you guys all know what hentai is? End of the episode.
I feel like you could be a furry in school before.
You didn't go to public school.
It's only banned in
there were
Oklahoma.
furries.
You're telling
There were furries that
Not-
went to school.
There were
Not with
definitely
headgear.
furries at my
Oh,
school,
Annie,
but it wasn't
there were
like
furries.
Annie,
fully
respectfully, I don't fucking believe you. There were
Oh,
no furries
there
at A
were.
Town High. There were not.
No.
No.
They're literally, I
Hey, I want to
theater
clarify a
in
few
public
things.
scholl.
It's only in Oklahoma. So
Well,
there's
it's gonna
plenty
it's
of
gonna be
furries
like
happening
it's
It'll
gonna be
catch
like
on.
the Amber Alert. It's gonna start in Oklahoma, and pretty soon every state's gonna want it. Okay, and then pretty soon,
Yes.
President
true about
Bush
the
is gonna
Amber
write
Alert?
it into law again.
Yeah. I
Jeb,
learned something about the
2024.
Amber Alert.
President Bush.
You do miss 2002, don't you?
I miss 2002 so
That's
much.
crazy.
Justin Humphrey, a Republican in Oklahoma, decided to finalize
Not
the bill
surprising.
targeting Furries or people in a subculture interested in the anthropomorphic animal characters
Yes.
Yeah.
in Oklahoma schools. That's a
No, there would be
crazy
kids
way
that
to-
would
They don't
wear
like
the
it because
shoes,
it's sexy.
the big
Yep.
boots, the like furry
ahead.
boots, like
Yes.
the feet. They
Wouldn't it
wear
be
those
crazy
to
if
school, and
Justin
they would wear it with like
Humphries
jeans
and
and
a
the
tail
tail
It
and
came
a
out that
t-shirt.
Justin Humphrey's like in his own
That's
home
always what
privately,
happens, bro. That is
Yeah.
always what
like, was a
happens.
furry.
They're like,
It's a furry at home.
turns out this congressman that wanted to ban,
Is a
drag
furry.
shows, totally into drag. It's like,
You're like, why would
what?
you ban it?
why would you? It's now. This is where I'm caught. Okay,
Because you hate furries also,
Because-
but you also like
I hate furries,
Freedom.
but I hate sexual repression. Like these Republicans out in Oklahoma want to repress the sexuality of.
Okay.
let's be real. If you're a
Up and
furry in
coming.
Oklahoma, you're
got
fighting
problems. I know.
uphill.
You're fighting
Yeah.
uphill. And also, I will say the funniest note on this whole article
Let's
is
hear
that the bill says animal control services shall be contacted
No.
to remove the
If you
students.
want to be an animal, we're gonna treat you like an animal.
That's a bit.
that
They're doing a bit. It's a government
no,
bit.
it's from the Onion. It
It's
is
from
real.
the Oklahoma. This is the Oklahoman.
the
The
Oklahoma man.
Oklahoman.
Oklahoman.
It's called the Oklahoma man, not the Oklahoma Steve.
Oklahoman where the furries can't go to school.
Oh, did you
Yes,
write
Cara.
that?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Cara.
Oh,
Steven Sondheim.
And
From,
you
from
know
the
what?
great Broadway show, Oklahoma.
Can you
Roger and
imagine
Hammerstein.
being like the head of animal control, a legitimate like,
Yeah.
government agency, and be like, "Hey, by the way, we're gonna start calling you for those weird kids in school.
Yep,
What
you get
weird
that
kid? You know the
call.
tail kids.
so that only happens if the parents don't pick them up.
Yes.
But
Have you seen?
but it
some of
does
these-
happen apparently.
Have you seen some of the costumes they got? They're pretty good.
Pretty
Furry
incredible.
costumes?
Yeah, people
They're
put
expensive.
Do you know what when you have a character? Do you know what it's called? It's called
I hate
your,
that you know that.
It's called your fursona.
A dog name. Oh.
You're lying.
It's called
You
your
made that up.
fursona. Like
You made that up
I'm
just
Ryan, but
now.
my fursona is like Tiddlywinks, the fox boy.
If we had more time, I would make a select furry that
He
we
came
would,
up with that
we
way
would
too
be
soon.
in.
Oh, and that's why-
he's a furry.
Tiddlywinks.
You like Tiddlywinks, the fox boy?
I like that
I
word.
hate that.
Tiddly, tiddly, tiddly.
There's some
I'm
really
thinking-
suggestive
Kara's
ones.
into it too.
I'm thinking
I think
this
we
week.
uncovered
Wait,
a
I think this is
truth.
Ryan,
Ready,
if I
ready,
can
ready?
be honest.
Oh wow.
God.
Okay, this week on the post show, we're all gonna pick our fursonas. Okay.
Oh,
Love,
I
Alright.
think
Done.
that this week on the post show
Okay.
is the week I kill myself.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first, folks. If you want to watch that in living, vivid color,
No.
head on over to
Moving
our
to
Patreon.
Oklahoma.
It's right there in our bio. For $4 a month, you can watch all of our extra downloadable content. Oh, John's showing me inappropriate pictures of personas. I think that's a good place to call it, right? Oh no!
No. Oh, I'm moving to Oklahoma. I'm calling animal control.
You're moving closer to? Oh, I guess. Oh,
No. But that's where they
Where
banned
it's
it. That's where they
safe.
banned
Right.
it.
You're right.
But
Move there.
Annie, you haven't been in high school for years.
I'm gonna call animal control every time I see him.
Okay.
Oh,
On the
man.
couch as always, Cara Tafoya, Annie the Scoveman. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
And we'll see you next week on What the Podcast.
Hey.
Hey.
Furries have come a long way.
Yeah, they have.
They're
Cara.
sure trying, but. Da da da.
Did you make this?
Yeah. Like 5 years ago.
I just don't know what to believe
Okay, I want to
anymore.
try it.